It is an incredibly exciting time for UFO and alien enthusiasts and anyone that kind of really wants to push towards disclosure for the entire UFO topic. We've obviously seen over the past few years, kind of spearheaded by David Grush in his bombshell interview on News Nation back in 2023, that we've had UFO congressional hearings where people who are high-ranking military personnel or who have any form of information on, BTS information with regards to UFOs, they come forward and they have a safe platform where they are able to speak to Congress and, put some plans in motion about, disclosure with regards to UFOs and the topic, right? But it has just been confirmed that there are two brand new things that are going to be coming in the coming days. The first one is a brand new UFO hearing that will be taking place on May 1st of 2025. So that's only a few days away. So we're going to talk about that. And there's also a UAP Disclosure Fund, which is a non-partisan organization which is dedicated to advocating for transparency and public disclosure on information related to the UAP phenomena. So we're going to be talking about that as well and kind of understanding what all of this really means, because this is greater than just a congressional hearing. This means that we're getting more hearings with regards to a lot of this topic, which means that there are more opportunities for the ball to be rolling and also to put pressure on the people that are trying to barricade these secrets as heavily as they currently are. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the UAP disclosure and the UFO hearing that's going to be taking place on May 1st. So in collaboration with the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability, they will be hosting a congressional briefing titled Understanding UAP Science, National Security and Innovation on May 1st of 2025 at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time in Washington, D.C. Now this event is described as the first of its kind because it is a non-partisan policy briefing aimed at members of Congress, their staff and the greater public, and it will be live streamed with limited in-person public seating available. The briefing is sponsored by bipartisan congressional leaders, indicating cross-party interest in the topic of UAP. So the key details of the briefing. So the purpose is the event aims to foster transparency and discussions on the UAP topic, focusing on their implications for science, national security, and technological innovation. And it seeks to move the UAP conversation beyond the fringe of speculation into some serious policy and scientific framework. Obviously, that's what we all want to be seeing. Now, there are some key speakers who will be taking part in this. You'll know a lot of them because they've all been heavily involved within the UAP space very recently. So the speakers of the panel include Lou Elizondo, Chris Mellon, Avi Loeb, Robert Davis, Tim Gallaudet, and Kevin McConnell. Those are the confirmed figures as of right now. There could be more, but as of right now, those are the people that are definitely going to be taking place and getting involved with this. Now, the format of this briefing will feature the expert presentations and discussions with members of Congress, emphasizing data-driven and scientific approaches to UAP, and the public access. So the event will be live streamed, making it accessible to a global audience, and limited in-person seating is actually available, suggesting high public interest. Now, this briefing follows a series of congressional hearings on UAPs, including notable ones in 2022, 23, and 2024, which have addressed issues like government transparency, national security risk, and alleged secret UAP retrieval programs, all of which has been heavily covered, as a topic so far. The May 1st, 2025 event is framed as a response to growing public and congressional demand for clarity on UAP topics, especially after claims by whistleblowers like David Grush, who alleged that the existence of covert programs involving extraterrestrial materials. And obviously this entire situation has got people wondering, what else is there? Obviously, everything that we've heard is fantastic, but it's all very elusive. There's no concrete evidence. And the idea of these other hearings, from what I gather, is to try and bring in that evidence, mount on even more pressure, and allow these files to be released to the public, because more people are getting more and more interested by the day in this topic, especially with it now being widespread all over social media and even Congress taking it seriously. So this isn't just tinfoil hat theories anymore. This goes far beyond that. But We've also got the UAP Disclosure Fund, otherwise known as the UAPDF for short. Now, this is a similar entity kind of involved within this. It's all been announced at the same time. We'll go over the clip in just a moment. But the UAPDF is a non-partisan organization which is dedicated to advocating for transparency and public disclosure of information related to the UAP phenomena. It works as a bridge to gap between government secrecy and public curiosity, emphasizing scientific inquiry and national security considerations. Now, the mission of the UAPDF seeks to push for declassification of UAP-related records and support legislative efforts for transparency and to promote rigorous scientific study of UAP. It aims to ensure that the public and Congress have access to the information about the phenomena, and it could have significant implications. So there's obviously going to be congressional engagement, so the UAPDF collaborates with lawmakers to organize briefings and hearings such as the May 1st, 2025 event that we've just talked about, and it's hosted an invite-only summit on Capitol Hill on November 13th of 2024 following a House Oversight Committee hearing where lawmakers like Representative Eric Burleson and Senator Mike Rounds pledged to advance UAP disclosure legislations. There's also advocacy and a public outreach program via this. So through the events like the May 1st briefing, the UAPDF engages the public live streaming the discussion to broaden access and reduce stigma around the UAP topic. Now, obviously, the broader context of this is that the idea is to bring people into this. So it's not just lawmakers, Congress, and these whistleblowers that are talking about it in this, round table style setting. The idea is to bring people like yourself, me, other YouTubers, other TikTokers, other people who are just genuinely curious about the topic into the discussion as well, and making the entire thing completely accessible, which is, I guess, to set a precedent for transparency, to show how transparent this topic needs to be. Now, Avi Loeb was the person that really kind of, let the cat out of the bag when it came to this over on News Nation with this interview right here.
I do want to ask about one more topic. On Thursday, you're set to speak at a briefing on UAPs hosted by the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability, offering a science-driven perspective. You have said that astronomers, not government officials, should be leading the search in the skies. Tell me more about that.
Right, because we are talking about a subject which is the job definition of astronomers, what lies outside the solar system. The US government is focused on national security threats, and they don't have the time, they don't have the resources or the expertise to figure out what lies outside the solar system. So if the US government has any data or materials that are of interest, I would love to help them figure it out. And that will be the case that I will present in Congress, with the hope that if they do have such materials or data, it will save me a lot of time.
Professor Avi Loeb, it's always good to see you. Really appreciate the conversation tonight.
Obviously, this can be nothing but good for the UFO topic, and it is really going to progress the conversation forward. But what do you guys make of this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Where you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And yeah, let me know if you're interested in this, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.